Using this painting video, I'll share some tips that have helped me get better results when painting loosely, while trying to achieve visual realism. Keep in mind that this is just an alla prima exercise, and I'm just painting mostly based on what I see on my reference. Before diving into colors, I establish the darkest areas with a mix of burnt umber and ultramarine, adding a bit of white so I can still adjust values as the painting progresses. Also, I use little to no medium in the first layers. This way I can paint over the previous layers without picking up too much paint, which will look muddy at the end. Now, I block in the major shapes. This stage is all about capturing the general structure. Still using no medium, I just use turpentine as thinner if the paint is too thick. Here, I'm putting hints of reflected light in the shadow areas. Since my main light is warm, the shadows lean cool, and I see that in my reference. This time, to add pop to the reflected light, I use cerulean blue with ultramarine and white. Next, I refine the eye area. I put more focus in capturing the gaze than any other part of this portrait or any other portrait that I do, because I think that the gaze is the most important part to capture the emotion and character of the subject. I then start placing the warm highlights using a mix of yellow ochre, lemon yellow, burnt sienna, and alizarin crimson, with a lot of white. I try to push the colors towards either a more orange or more yellow tone, depending on what I see on the reference. Now here's the fun part. Playing with warm and cool contrast to help achieve visual realism. This time I try to communicate the bumps of the skin in some areas of the face by strategically putting dabs of warm highlights paired with dabs of cool reflected lights. You'll get a better feel for this concept as you practice. Intentionally look for references that have visible, cool reflected lights for your exercises. At this stage, I'm painting more instinctively, relying less on the reference and more on feel. Teeth is another defining feature of this beast. I've drawn plenty of dinosaurs for my toddler, and I've noticed that next to the eyes, the teeth play a big role in capturing character. To suggest their glossy surface, I use tiny strokes of warm tone, dark shadow, and cool reflected light placed right next to each other on a small portion of each tooth, leaving a large portion white. Now, I add the final highlights, making sure the brightest spots reinforce the light direction and enhance the overall contrast. And that's it, a fun alla prima exercise focusing on warm and cool contrast and values in achieving visual realism. Thanks for watching. If you've enjoyed this video, don't forget to like. And if you learned something from this, subscribe. See you in the next video.